Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie Tana, and I love stories of all kinds and haven't talked about them for quite a minute. I've tried to film a few updates or to try to do a vlog, but that's actually harder for me than just making a video and talking about my life. Um, so I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. Life has been crazy, and I just wanted to make a quick video about what I'm doing, what I'm reading, and what I'm writing. So the reason you haven't seen me in a while is because I recently moved to the northern Utah area. I won't be more specific than that just for my privacy, but yeah, I'm living in northern Utah as opposed to southern Utah right now. I love the mountains up here. There's actually a lot more to see nature adventure wise than I realized. And yeah, it's just a beautiful time to be here. And it's been very busy. My husband and I moved into a new apartment, and only recently did I just get my desk in. As you can see, I've kind of set it up sort of as it was before, and this is probably where I'll film most of my videos since my bookshelf's in my bedroom and I just like this setup. But if you guys want to haunt Daniel Green or bother him, you can just link my video to him with all my Funkos behind me because he hates Funkos. And while I understand his argument, I love Funko Pops a little too much. And anyway, but this is my desk. This is where I hopefully will get some writing done. I've been very busy. I have a full-time job right now as a phlebotomist, and that's taken some adjusting to. My last job, I was an early morning baker. And yes, the early mornings were hard and going to bed was really hard, but it's so different. Like, it was kind of nice to get to work at 4:30 and get done at 11-ish and then have my day. And now I work nights, and so I have to be very motivated in the mornings, which is so hard for me, but today's a good day and I'm making a video. So that's kind of the adjustment that I'm dealing with, but I have a very supportive husband and a very good situation right now. I'm very, very grateful for where I'm at and that I do have a job and that hopefully I can get into a routine and talk to you guys more about books and stories. As to what I am reading right now, I just recently finished Shadows of Self. It's upside down. Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. This is technically I'm just gonna call it book 2 in the Mistborn Era 2 series. There are 4 books. This is the second book. It really kicks off a lot more than the first book did, but the first book is a really fun read and a great introduction and has a lot of implications after you read this one. I will maybe do a full review of this one. Let me know if you want one. But just a few thoughts on it. Non-spoiler. None of this is spoiler thought related. Um, Ooh, it was so good and emotionally charged, I will say. I loved reading this one. I was never really bored. The pacing was excellent, and it, in certain ways, kept me company up here while I was doing work for the first couple weeks, and I just loved reading this book, and I'm really excited to continue on with Mistborn Era 2. The reason I'm not just jumping into it is I like to read books in between books and series for the most part. It just gives me some time to sort of uh, have a palate cleanser in a sense so that I appreciate the next book more. It just keeps me entertained better. Um, I like to bounce around, and there's so many books I want to read. I don't want to get stuck in a big series, and that big series that I'm reading right now isn't even Era 2, because that one's actually pretty manageable. It is, as most of you know, The Wheel of Time. You can see I have up to book 11 right now of the floppy paperback collection. It's my favorite thing in the world. And yeah, I am on book 11. I'm about a third of the way through, and I'm already liking this one. This one's The Knife of Dreams, by the way. So I'm already liking this one so much better than book 10. Book 10 was a Wheel of Time book, and I really loved the Wheel of Time, but I was definitely a little bit like, I want to see more of the main characters. I think that's the biggest issue that might make it slow. It's like interesting things to happen. There's really big character moments nonetheless, but it's very much like setting up for the last 4 books, and then this one's taking it and running with it in ways that I'm really into. I will probably make a video when I'm about halfway through this one, just so I can get into some details, because I just ended a chapter last night that made me very excited for one of my favorite characters' plot lines right now. So I'm really enjoying that one, really getting into it, and having a great time. On the subject of not story related reading, I've been reading some poetry for the past little while. I will usually keep a poetry book by my bedside. It just gets me relaxed a lot of the time, or can be thought provoking or whatever, but it can also be taken in small doses. And I have been reading this collection of Mary Oliver. The collection is called Devotions, selected poems of hers. Mary Oliver is amazing. I can understand why people may not love the poetry itself, like the structuring. It's not everyone's favorite, but she is so wonderful, and she loved this earth. And I'm like, man, I just want to be barefoot in a creek right now, and it's quite nice to read. This book also smells very good, and it's just very peaceful. She's become quickly one of my most favorites. If a poem of hers pops up on the internet, I usually can recognize it before I see the name, just because she was in love with this world. And I'm so sad she's passed away, because I want to meet her. She sounds super cool. But Mary Oliver, she writes a lot about nature. She has an entire collection, by the way, about dogs. So you guys know that she's probably awesome. And the other thing I'm reading that I'm almost done with, not a piece of fiction, but can help you write fiction, is On Writing and World Building by, it says Timothy Hickson, for those of you who aren't aware. That's Hello Future Me. He's an awesome YouTuber and creator. Just does a lot of great analyses on fiction and on not just books, but TV shows, movies, video games, and this is one of 2 books he's written on writing and world building. And I have both of them, and I'm almost done with book 1. I've just been like reading it sort of casually and like highlighting stuff as I go, and what a great chunk of like wisdom from someone who's really paid attention to stories. And maybe when I finish it, I'll give a little thing about like some of my favorite bits of advice on it, because or like from it. So freaking good and so fun. Also, like, his voice is in there a lot of jokes here and there that really make it light, and the way he phrases things, that it's never you should do this or whatever, is very helpful. It's advice, and advice is not black and white. It's what you could try, to make something work, and how other people have tried it and how it's worked for them. And I found it very helpful, where other writing advice has been a little bit stressful for me. This has helped me ask questions about my own writing. And speaking to my own writing, I have not written a lot lately. I had a writing day almost 2 weeks ago now, and that's making me sad to think about. Time goes by so quickly. But since I have a lot of mornings free and my husband works, we're going to try to motivate each other when we're both working from home a little bit to actually work. So he has his actual job, and I have free time in the morning. And instead of watching TV or playing Tears of the Kingdom, as much as I want to play Tears of the Kingdom, I'm going to try to write a little bit every week. I don't know, once I sit down, it's not hard, but it's just making the time. I actually don't really get stuck when I'm actually writing. I get stuck in life, and that is hard for me to overcome. But now that I'm adjusting to work and really liking it, I feel like I have the emotional, mental energy to write again. I'm working on the 2nd book in the trilogy I've been working on for forever. Last July, I tried to do a little bit of Camp NaNoWriMo, and it was okay, but I had to kind of give up on it, not just because the word count is hard to reach, but because the content was hard to write. It was actually quite triggering for me, and I need to spend more time pondering on it before I ever even write it, let alone try to put it out there in the world. So that is something like I've worked on recently. Last summer, I finished my second draft of a book. It had been about 65,000 words, and it needed more. um, I am a bit of an underwriter, which is strange because I'm an overtalker. But in my underwriting, I had a hard time. I just got to plot beats, you know, and then I realized there's things I needed to go into or events that needed to happen to make it make sense, or even just description to bring people into the world. And so I got up to, I think, 115,000 words last summer, and I'm on the second book of that series, writing that one. No matter what, I will finish writing this trilogy. That being said, I don't know if I will query this trilogy first. I have a sort of standalone functional idea that could be more than one book, but I think would work as a standalone. Is super fun. Um, has a lot of inspiration from parts of history that I really like, and I'm maybe gonna start writing that after this one. We'll see. I don't fully know what my plan is, but I'm so excited. I'm like halfway through book 2, and since I started writing it in like October, November, that's pretty good for me with the life that I live and the fact that I procrastinated a lot or spent a lot of time doing things that weren't writing. And considering that I have a lot of hobbies, like I do these videos and I play the mandolin and I read and I write and then I do things with the people I love, and all of that takes a decent amount of my time. And I think because writing is such a personal thing for me and like it's something I just do entirely for myself, I push it back a lot because I don't have anyone waiting on my books. It's just me. But that means I don't get a lot of that writing time and I end up missing out on it. So I'm going to have a little bit more of that. I'm going to make more time for it. And I'm really excited. I really want to describe the plot, but I'll describe the vibes. The setting is like the Pacific Northwest. It has a little bit of dystopian influence in it, given that I started this story when I was like 16. Um, actually, I think I was 15 when I started it, and it has grown so much, but the setting has stayed the same. A lot of the themes have stayed the same, and it has grown in a lot of ways that I'm really proud of. Yeah, and I really like the story. It's very adventure-y. There's a lot of camping. So if you like to live vicariously through campers and not camp yourself, this might be the read for you. I'm gonna keep talking about it a little bit, I think, and talk about my writing process and what I'm experiencing, because as you guys might have noticed, a lot of my reviews I kind of title what I learned, because I don't like review systems. I think that they are so arbitrary. And in this way, I get to just be like, this is what it taught me, and this is what I liked about it, which is what I think a review can be. It's not a review, but then I'm not rating it, you know, it's not a rated review. You guys are the best. I have appreciated your support, and I am back. I'm going to be consistent. I don't know how consistent. My goal right now, my soft goal, is every other week, but I'm just going to try to do every week. But I'm not holding myself to that because life. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all are awesome. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.